Hello and welcome to Forgotten Clubs, where today we'll be talking about some football history in Holywell. So the first football club in Holywell was simply called Holywell, and they were formed in September 1880. They played in the Welsh Cup, and they also played in the North Wales Coast League. They existed until around 1902 before folding. Um, First Holywell club played on the ground up close by the windmill. The ground was called Ffordd Fair. It's now being covered by housing, but that's where they originally played. There was also a club who existed at the same time as Holywell, which is called D Rovers. The D Rovers existed from 1880 to 1886. D Rovers played in the Welsh Cup on 2 occasions. However, on both occasions, they went out in the first round after suffering heavy defeats. When the original Holywell Football Club folded in 1902, there was a gap for a number of years in the town where there was no football club present. So the next football club that came along was Holywell Victoria, who were formed in 1906. Again, they played up at Ffordd Fair, where the earlier club had played. But these played a friendly match against Everton up there back in about 1909. And Holywell Victoria folded in 1911. When Holywell Victoria folded in 1911, it's unclear what happened, but it looks like they may have merged with Greenfield. So Greenfield Football Club were formed in 1905. They're formed by John Petrie, who was originally from Aberdeen, but had moved to the area to work at the local paper mill. Petrie had 7 sons, one of which was George Petrie, who played for the club and was a Wales amateur international. I think at one point another 6 of his sons were also, they all played for Greenfield at some point. So Greenfield played in the Flintshire League for 2 years, and then they moved to the Chester League, where they played from 1907 until they withdrew from that in 1911. You're probably wondering why I'm standing on the coastal path with cows and stuff behind me. Well, there's a field just over the back there, the one that looks slightly yellowish in colour compared to everything else, and that is the site of the Morpher ground where Greenfield played from 1905 until around 1910. Would have been quite a handy ground, really, because it's not too far away from the old Holywell station. Obviously, back then, a lot of clubs travelled to games via trains. Obviously, it was a time before widespread use of cars and that sort of stuff. So Greenfield, this incarnation of Greenfield, anyway, withdrew from the Chester League in January 1911. It's not clear what happens to the club then, but it's likely that they merged with Holywell Victoria during the next summer, because around September 1911, a club called Holywell United emerged, who contained a lot of Holywell Victoria players and also a lot of the previous Greenfield players as well. So it's likely that they merged with Holywell Victoria to create Holywell United around 1911. But yeah, so obviously we're here now, not too far away from where they played. Obviously, you'd never think it nowadays that there's ever a football pitch here. Really, it just looks like a farmer's field. I don't really want to go too close just because there's cows over there behind me, and I don't like getting too close to cows because honestly, they terrify me. Okay, thank you. So when Holywell Victoria merged with Greenfield, it formed a new club called Holywell United. Holywell United again played at Ffordd Fair like the earlier clubs. They had a good run in the Welsh Amateur Cup, and in 1914 reached the final, but they lost against Cardiff Corinthians. Obviously, all football ended in 1914 due to the outbreak of World War I. Holywell United re-emerged after the war in the 1920s. However, they were eventually replaced in the town by Holywell Arcadians. And now I'm at the current home of Holywell Town, who currently play in the Cymru North, which is the Tier 2 of Welsh football. Thank you for watching.